Welcome to the third episode of The Next Perfect Step. I'm Laurie Tremblay, and this is,
Laurie Mullen.
yep, and we are your hosts for the third episode. We welcome you so much, and we're happy that you're here to listen and welcome your comments and any thoughts that you might have as we have this third conversation. Today, Laurie is going to share with us a meditation that she was inspired to write and guide us into a meditation. It's beautiful guided meditation. And then after that, we're going to share with you some of our favorite books that inspired us have over the years. I mean, there are many, many, but we're just going to do a few today and see if maybe they'll inspire you too, or you might be familiar with them as well. Thanks.
So
Laurie.
very many. All right, well, we thought we would just start by doing a meditation, centering, grounding, getting in a clear space. So we'll begin by lowering or closing your eyes and taking in a nice deep breath all the way in through your nose and really breathe it out through your mouth. Feel it leaving your body. Feel that air going all the way from your mouth, all the way to the tips of your toes. Just breathing, feeling into your body. And with each breath, we become more and more relaxed. Feeling the tension melt away. Becoming present. With each breath, allowing the thoughts to float away like clouds. Feel that breath enter the top of your head. Feel the breath going down, down, relaxing your head and your face. Feel the warm glow of your breath entering your throat, melting away tension in your shoulders. Continuing that breath down each arm. Letting go and relaxing. Feel the breath enter your chest, surrounding your heart, relaxing more and more. Feel the breath go down into your belly, down your hips. Continuing that breath down to your knees. And continuing all the way to your toes. And allowing all to be released into the earth. Feel your roots opening up at the bottom of your feet. And going down into the ground. Down deep to where all the roots lie. Connecting to all the wisdom and healing that's in the earth for you. And as you breathe in, you breathe up that wisdom, that love, that healing the earth has for you. Being completely present in this moment. A blade of grass, the wind kissing your skin, birds chirping in the distance. Listen. Listen to the leaves blowing in the wind, the river flowing. Listen. Everything is talking to you. Stay focused and listen. Open your hearts. Listen. Flow. Breathe. Be still. Can you hear the clouds moving? Do you hear the songs of the trees? Listen. Do you hear your heart? Can you hear the roses blooming? Listen. The songs singing, the animals playing. Can you listen with your heart? Feel into that space around your heart. What does it feel like to you? Is it heavy? Is it open? Can you listen? You get to decide what to feel in that space. It's all up to you. What are your heart's desire? Can you bring more joy, peace, adventure? Allow yourself to desire it all. Feel that space exploding with celebration. Fill it with the perfect, peaceful day by the water. Celebrate who you are. You can create your heaven on earth. Just let it in. Open your heart and listen. Taking a few more deep breaths. Feeling your toes on the floor, wiggling. Wiggle your fingers. And when you're ready, you may open your eyes and come back to this present moment.
Thank you, Laurie.
Very welcome. Very welcome.
Beautiful. I loved how you talked about listening with your heart and listening to the roses and all of nature with your heart. I love that.
Yeah, I love writing meditations, as you know. I do it quite often, and I love working with nature and with the animals and what they have, their medicine they have to bring to us and what their lessons are for us. And yeah, I was sitting outside looking at my garden, and that meditation came to me, and I could feel it. I could feel it in my heart. And definitely wanted to be able to share it with you.
I was going to ask you too, could you tell a little bit about yourself? Because I don't think you've had a chance to do that in our episodes yet. What your background is and what you're doing, your healing studio.
I am the owner of Inspire Holistic Center. I've been on this journey for about 12 years now. Really what my passion, what I love to do is to expand the mind, get us to look at our belief systems, where they came, and breaking through those barriers to find who our true self is. I'm also a Reiki practitioner, love working with energy. What else? I dabble in a lot of stuff. We've done, I'm a moonologist. I've dabbled in astrology, oracle card readings. Um, but I really just love working with people to help them create the life that they want to live, and what's standing in the way. Um, that's my best program that I run here. It's called Breaking Barriers, and that's exactly what the program is all about. It's breaking through what's holding us back from living our best life, which are usually belief systems and ourselves, unfortunately. um, Finding the path back to loving ourselves to create the life we absolutely want to live. Yeah, so that's a little bit about myself.
Wonderful. I took your course, Breaking Barriers, and it really helped me get through some issues that sometimes you don't even realize are there, and you realize that you have a little bit of work to do, but it's easy when you have love behind you, and the power of love, rather.
Yeah,
Break
yeah.
through those barriers. And your guidance was so spot on and so helpful.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it is a real, I start every program with saying, this is your program. It's your healing and you're in control of it. We go at the speed and the healing that you want, at your own pace. And I am the support system to help give you the tools and support you on your healing. And that's truly what I believe.
So
That we all have the power to heal ourselves. We just need the support to do it.
So how can people get in touch with you if they need?
I'll put a link on the comment in my website, in the comments below. You could check it at me out there if you'd like to.
Thanks. Yeah, I just love your inspired meditations too. They just take me to a special space, that just opens my heart. So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I started doing, that's something else I do, is a monthly meditation group. I started doing it with more, it's incredible using it with some of my clients and stuff, but to do it in a group setting, more people, more energy, it's just become a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you for all of your offerings.
Thank you. And you are on the same path, so why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So this is my Reiki studio at home where I'm sitting right now. So I'm a Reiki master teacher, and I love teaching classes, helping people discover how to heal themselves and use the power of universal life force energy to go through your hands to heal others and their pets, and just all areas of your life. Plus, I'm also enjoying one-on-one sessions, distance sessions, and I love being out in the earth and interacting with nature to help co-create. I've been experimenting this year with co-creating with nature, the spirit of nature, to do my garden. And I've discovered that nature isn't just trees and rocks and shrubs. It's actually, I was reading Michelle Small Wright's book. She has a farm called Paralandra in Virginia, and she's got some books about co-creating. So I've been, nature is as I was saying, is the architect of form. And so our job is to co-create, is to direct, say, our purpose and what we want to accomplish. And then nature just comes in and makes that happen. So it's kind of a friendship partnership. And intuitively, I was starting this in baby steps because it's new to me. But I did my garden, and one example is I normally plant a certain way every year, and just at my backdoor garden, which this year nature suggested intuitively that I plant my squash on this slope that was down the hill. And I'm like, okay, so I did it. And they're huge. They're doing great. And another example was I planted a lot of tomatoes, and I heard in my inner hearing to put milk on the tomatoes. Hmm, is that right? That doesn't sound right to me. It's like, okay. So I have this, you can test using kinesiology muscle testing, yes or no. You just, here's your, these are circuits in your hand. So you use your non-dominant hand, your pinky and your thumb like this, your dominant hand, which is my right hand, and you just place it like this, and you press against your thumb and your pinky. So you would say, should I put milk on the tomatoes? And this is staying still, so that's a yes. If you should say, should I put milk? Should I give milk to my or on my computer? Then it comes apart, meaning no. So it's just it's your body's muscle way of answering yes or no. So anyway, I was using that with the milk situation with my tomatoes, and I put milk on them, and later I Googled it and it said, yes, that is actually a fertilizer for tomatoes. So it's just so interesting to me, that kind of co-creation with nature. And I'm always, you and I are both love to connect with the earth and the trees. And this is just a little bit of a deeper connection for me. So aside from that, I also channel, I channel messages, which I read in the last episode, through writing and also through piano. I've been doing that since I was a girl. I just start playing, and whatever comes through is usually very healing and very therapeutic for myself. If I'm doing it just playing for myself or from other people that listen. I've recorded a lot, so I'm working on getting those recordings ready to put out there.
Yay, yay.
Yeah, so I think I just believe that we should be who we are, and the messages keep coming through to follow your joy, follow your things that you love, and just do that, no matter what it is. And we're all different. We all have different gifts and different paths of that make us happy. So just do whatever it is that makes you happy and focus on that, and just let the rest of it go. It doesn't matter.
Right. We're all on a journey, and the journey doesn't look the same.
No.
Right. We take different paths, we're into different things, and yet we're all going to reach the same spot. It just
Yeah.
looks different for everybody, and that's okay. And that's what we have to realize. I realized that a while ago, with my husband. I was doing all this work on myself, and I thought he's, this thing, like, he'll never change, but he was changing completely in his own way. And it didn't look like mine. And then at some point I realized it didn't have to. That was my path to take to discover myself, and he was on his own.
That's huge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Realize that, yeah, that everyone is on their own, and we don't know what someone else is going through necessarily, but we could just be there for support, but just follow our own path and the next perfect step for ourselves. That's the only way we can move
Absolutely.
in the flow of our
Right.
truth.
Support one another through it, because really we're all going through the same stuff.
Mhm. Oh yeah.
You know? It just looks a little different sometimes for everyone, but really we're all going through the same stuff. And we need to be compassionate and understanding and supportive. Even if we don't understand it, we don't need to. We really don't need to just support one another.
And that's why we're having these conversations, just
Right.
to talk about stuff that we're going through. And
Yeah, and we'd love for you to write in the comments of things that maybe, you have questions about, or conversations or topics that you want discussed. Please put comments below. Tell us what you think, and we'll definitely look at them, and maybe we can have those conversations with you.
Right. Yeah, because we're going for a weekly podcast, so we need your ideas, and we'd love to connect with you.
I think we'd like to start a community where we feel open to talk about and discuss even things me and Laurie may not know about. You may open us up to seeing something different. I love discovering other people's paths and what they're doing. And so, we can all expand together.
So one of our upcoming guests is going to be Caroline Phillips, who is a spiritual artist. She creates just intuitively beautiful abstract art that's being noticed. And so we'd love to we're going to have her on to talk about what she does. So that's kind of an interesting aspect of her expression of her own soul.
Yeah, we can't wait to have her on. It's going to be fun.
So, and many more guests. So if you'd like to be a guest, let us know. So do you want to share about some books that you like?
You want me to start? Sure. So I thought I would start right from the beginning, from when I first started taking this journey, and some of the books that really helped me along my path.
Okay.
The first one is Edgar Casey. He has 1,000 books out. But I was led to Edgar Casey. This was really my first lesson in following the signs. I had no idea who Edgar Casey was, none whatsoever. And he kept coming up, something about him came up on my feed and Facebook. Then his videos started showing up on my YouTube. Then I go to work, and the new girl hired at my job, her name was Casey. And she proceeds to tell me that her parents named her after Edgar Casey. And I was like, whoa, wait a second. I mean, it was just like in my face. Yeah. Then about a couple days later, she comes downstairs and she's like, you're never going to believe who's in the office. It's Edgar Casey's great niece. And I was like, what? You have to be serious. And I didn't tell her anything. She knew nothing about that. I had even just discovered who this person was, and nothing. So all of this was coming to me. So I said, okay, I hear you. I need to discover who this is. So I started reading and looking into and reading Edgar Casey. So Edgar Casey was born in 1877. He was referred to as the sleeping prophet. Casey would put himself into a trance-like state and speak to his higher self. He had 3 people who would ask him questions on various subjects from healing, reincarnation, dreams, afterlife, past life, nutrition, and even future events. His biggest thing he was known for was his health. He would go into a trance and he would find the illness that the person had, and then he would give them remedies to help cure that ailment. He was a devout Christian, a Sunday school teacher, which a lot of his readings often contradicted with his beliefs. Casey founded a nonprofit organization called the Association of Research and Enlightenment, which is still here today. It's called ARE. He passed away in 1982. Oh no, that was his son. His son, Hugh Lynn Casey, still ran ARE up until 1982 with his passing, and it was then taken over. It's in Virginia Beach. It holds all of his records, study groups, and education. And it's just fascinating that in 1877, he went down this path, which he struggled with very much, because again, it was against most of his beliefs. He did topics such as the purpose of life, working with ideas, meditation and prayer, Atlantis, holistic healing, Akashic records, karma, earth changes, on and on and on.
Big topics.
Big topics, right? And especially for 1877.
Exactly. That wasn't talked
Yeah.
about too much.
Right.
Spiritualist societies, but other than that, forget it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I found these books really fascinating. One of the other ones I read was the Tales of Ancient Egypt. This one was actually by John Van Elken. And he's studied the readings of Edgar Casey. He specializes in ancient mysteries, and he's the director of ARE. So these are more, there's a lot of books that go through and catalog his readings, what the questions were, what the answers were, stuff like that. So this was just somebody along my path, I think, that I wanted to share, because this was a story really where it was the first time that I really saw that I was being led in a direction. Now, I'll still be honest with you. As of today, I'm not really sure why I was led to Edgar Casey.
I was going to ask you, yeah, what you.
I'm not really sure. Right now, the only thing that I say was that it was, for me, at this level, it was a lesson on following the signs.
Good.
That I saw and heard the signs and I followed them. But I still am not 100% sure what the connection is. Maybe I'll never know. Maybe one day I'll find out.
Sounded like it opened a door for you, though.
But it definitely opened a door. And it definitely showed me that there were signs to follow. There were paths to follow, and that I just needed to allow to see them and to follow them. Yeah, and I found it fascinating. I found the subjects fascinating. It opened me up to a lot of different subjects. So if you're interested in Edgar Casey and his readings and stuff, I highly recommend the books. They're fascinating.
I would just say that from knowing you in our conversations, you have a lot of interest in a lot of different subjects. So maybe that was part of an introduction, but you do have a lot of interest in.
I do. I dabble in a lot of things.
But like you said in our last episode, it's all good. It's about having conversations about what does this mean, or what does this mean to you, or what does this theory mean to me? Let's explore it.
Yeah, and that has been a lot of my path. I have taken a lot of classes, read a lot of books, had discussions with people on different subjects and paths, and some of them haven't been for me. I've taken some classes where I thought that was fascinating to learn, and I'll never use them. It just wasn't for me, but I found it fascinating. I found it fascinating that there was this out there, and that a lot of people went in that direction. It just wasn't the direction for me, but it didn't stop me from learning about it. It didn't stop me from being interested. So yeah. So the next thing on my path, as I went on early in my path, was a real pivotal moment for me. 2 books in particular. The first one is Codependent No More by Melanie Beattie. This is a book on how to stop controlling others and start caring for yourself. The second part of the book 2 that I would suggest after that one is the Codependent Therapy, Recovery Guide to Relationship Codependent for Independent Mindset and No More Self-Hate. That one's by Melody Cloud and Henry Beattie. Those were 2 books when I very first discovered that you could be emotionally codependent. I knew what codependent meant as far as alcohol was concerned or drugs were concerned or something like that. I had no idea that you could be emotionally codependent, that in that realm that you tried controlling other people to make them do things to make you happy. That I was handing over my happiness to other people and other things, and I was completely dependent on other people and things making me happy. These book is a great discovery on all the ways that we are allowing other people and things to control our emotions, our happiness. It's a whole discovery on the word codependent, and it expands it to an enormous amount than just what we think our belief system of codependent is. It is eye-opening, the things that you can be codependent to. And if you have any inkling that there is some codependent aspect in your life, I highly, highly recommend these loving healing books. Again, this is Codependent No More by Melody Beattie. And the other one was the Codependent Therapy.
Great. That's a huge topic too.
Huge topic that we could go a lot into, but book recommendations, we're going to hone it in.
Yeah.
But it was a really big pivotal moment. It was one of those just aha moments for me that really changed the aspect of my journey. Hard pill to swallow, makes you take responsibility for a lot of things in your life. And it really was a pivotal moment of changing me blaming everybody else for my depression and unhappiness, and made me take responsibility of mine. You know, I had said a lot of times that I was afraid of certain people. And the truth was, I wasn't afraid of any of them. I was afraid of myself because I was out of control. I didn't have boundaries. I was codependent. And really, that was my healing that I needed to do. And those two books really, really, really started that process of healing.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
That's big work.
Big work. Big work.
Important.
And you know, we talked earlier, things I like to do. Not really like to do, has been big and pivotal in my life. I can't say I don't like to do it. Shadow work. I have gone really, really deep into the darkest spots of myself. And when you go deep into the darkness, that's where you find the light. In order to discover those parts that you have hidden deep in the darkness, you bring it to light for healing. And I'm not afraid. You know, I that was one of my biggest first steps. And it's something that you continue to do over and over and over again. You're always discovering new parts of yourself in there. But big work. It's big work. So the third book that I don't actually have a copy of, but it is Rise, Sister, Rise by Rebecca Campbell. I loved this book so much. I gave it away as Christmas presents. I gave it to all my friends. Laurie has a copy. I loved this book. This Rise, Sister, Rise is a guide to unleashing the wise, wild woman within. It's about self-empowerment. A woman does not keep herself small in order to make others feel more comfortable. A person who understands her worth and know they are strong, but together we are fierce. That we have to stop battling one another and start lifting each other up. It's a manual for healing insecurities, the fears, and limited inherited patterns that stop us from trusting our power and wisdom and becoming who we are meant to be. It was a journey for me into the feminine energy. I definitely was more of a masculine energy. I was raised to be independent, strong, not to depend on other people. And this was really a chance to own my femininity, realize that relationships I had with other females were not healthy, and I saw relationships with other women as battling it wasn't a healthy relationship. And this really helped me redefine that. It helped me get in touch with my femininity and rediscover how to support and form a community of loving, supportive people. And as we all know, femininity isn't just females.
Right.
It's male, it's the energy all around. So it's how to find that self-empowering community that we all need to support one another. So I highly recommend this book. Rebecca Campbell has other books. Light is the New Black, A Guide to Answering Your Soul's Calling and Working from Your Light, and Letters of a Starseed. Now, I have not read her other books. She is truly fascinating. So I recommend, I know anything she writes is fabulous. I do work with her oracle cards called the Rose Oracle. Absolutely beautiful, wonderful oracle deck for anyone. It's all heart-based, loving cards. So highly recommend her oracle cards too. Now I could go on and on and on. We could do about 20 of these books review, but we promised to keep it to just a few. So I will hand it over to Laurie, and there will definitely be a part 2.
Oh yeah. You know, so I like that you started at the beginning. I'm sort of started at the middle, I guess. First of all, we used to be in this group that was studying A Course in Miracles. This is a channeled book. Was channeled by Jesus to an agnostic woman named Helen Schuckman in 1976. And this is an amazing book. It helps you to really reshape the way you think. That it talks about the separation illusion that we are conditioned into, that we're separate from source, and how to clarify your mind, and so that you realize that love is who we are. And it's kind of like what you were saying, Laurie, you're not changing your world from the outside, but this is completely a way to clarify your mind in a new way of thinking, and to realize that your world is within you, and that you have the power to change, and you have the power to relate to others in new ways. And a companion to this is by the trans channel Tina Louise Spalding. At the back of this book, there are daily lessons that you can do. And then this is a beautiful book. It explains the lessons, and it was illustrated, sweetly illustrated, but it's a kind of channeled commentary about the lessons. And I found that to be a nice book as well. Tina Louise Spalding has studied the Course in Miracles for over 12 years, and she has a online community where she reads and channels about it. But there's a lot of this has been translated in many languages all around the world. It's not easy reading, but it's something that you feel more within your heart. You take your time with it. You maybe read 1 or 2 paragraphs, and it sinks in, and it's just incredibly life-changing. So that's been a study that I've been doing for a while. And then I also have enjoyed another channeled text by Paul Selig. This is the book of Knowing and Worth. And he's written several trilogies and different channeled writings. And it says, teaches readers how to discover their unique life's purpose through service, the practice of the thing that you love most. And the readers can discover their own form of service with the knowledge and insight of Selig's spirit guides. So Paul and Jeffrey Kripal says that Paul and his guides somehow managed to transmit and then explain ancient Gnostic revelations in simple language that anyone can understand. This result is a kind of handbook on how to access and use the creative or outpicturing powers of language and thought, our knowing, and the deep, still unconscious divinity of humanity, our worth, a magical book. So I would highly recommend this. And he's written.
I have read many of Paul Selinger's book. I highly recommend all of his book. They are really amazing books. I've read I Am Word, the Book of Freedom, the Book of Knowing and Worth, the Book of Truth, and the Book of Mastery. I Am Word is about finding our true nature, self-realization, discovering our higher self that's lying dormant within us. The Book of Freedom is getting to know our true selves and finding true expression through surrender. And the Book of Mastery is self-development and improved life. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful books. And as we were talking last week, they're really energetic books. They're books that you not only can understand and relate with, but you can feel them. You can feel the subjects that the books are laying about. They're wonderful, wonderful books.
And the guides, his guides, a lot of times talk about going to the upper room, which is a vibratory place of higher vibration. And also they talk about a higher octave, just raising your vibration, and how that's possible. This isn't some other ones, the Kingdom. The latest one is the Revelation, which I haven't read yet. Have you read that yet?
No, not yet, but I am eager to. Yeah. I just heard him speak the other day. I sent you a copy. And that was the first time I heard he had the Revelation. I hadn't seen that one before. So I'm very, very curious. Yeah.
All the books are channeled, and sometimes it's funny because sometimes he's a skeptical channeling. Like they'll say, well, Paul's a little bit upset by what we're saying right now.
Right. Yeah. And when I heard him talk too, I thought it was a fascinating conversation. He had started off the whole conversation talking about his journey and stuff. And, like we said, he was talking about the upper room and how to raise our vibration and stuff. And another topic that we could go in depth with, but what it means to raise your vibration. A lot of people think it's a condition to raise your vibration. You have to eat clean, you have to drink lots of water, you have to live. But Paul says he chain smoked out a window while he was channeling all of his. So there's raising your vibration doesn't come with a condition. I really believe it's expanding your belief system, being open and allowing and surrendering. It's not a condition. It's not you have to do something in order to achieve it or in order to be granted it. That's where, I have a lot of trouble recently with spirituality and conform religion. We got away from conform religion, but we brought some of that stuff over to spiritualism, and we, they say in order to raise your vibration, you have to take herbals or do this or do something in order to earn it. You don't have to earn anything. You're worthy of it. You just have to believe you're worthy of it. But we've taken conditions, and you have to earn it. You have to do all of this stuff in order to earn your worthiness in that. And that's, again, we could go on a whole other top position, but I thought it was fascinating that he brought, he brings out this, other ways and expanded mind and that you can be anyway and still be worthy of having a channel, being in a higher vibration. So, yeah.
Yeah, and you can see him channel on YouTube as well. He has a different method of channeling. He's whispers the words and then says them, but that's the way he does it. But all his books are channeled, and the messages are amazing. Like you said, Laurie, they're just bring you back to the truth of that you don't have to do or earn. I like that point. That some of that your point
Yeah.
too.
And I'm not saying that you should be smoking or not taking your vitamins or anything like that. Do it because it's not good for the physical body and it makes you healthier, but not because you have to earn something. That's really my point in going with that. You should do healthier stuff because it's good for you, but not because you're going to earn something for it.
Right. Good. So that kind of segues into my latest book that I'm currently reading. This was a gift from a friend. This is Humanity's Epic Awakening by Mary Reed. And Mary wrote her first book called The Unwitting Mystic, where she was, she was in the corporate world, but she started experiencing these amazing mystical experiences out of the blue, and she didn't really know what was happening to her, and they kept happening and kept happening, and she didn't say anything to anybody, and she would just write it down. And so that's her first book, is about her story, The Unwitting Mystic. But this is, she's come to understand what was happening with her. She's more the message than, well, the description is she's the blackboard, she's the message rather than the messenger. She's just incredible. So this one talks about, this part that you were talking about, that we don't have to earn who we are, and that the shadow work is not, it's not, we have to overcome bad with good. That's our whole programming in our societies. We have to be good. We have to win. We have to overcome evil with good. And it's not so much that, is embracing both, embracing the dark and the light, and letting that come through and be transformed, because there's nothing outside of love. There's nothing outside of source. So how can we say that this thing is outside of all that is? That's not possible. So we do need to embrace that. We do need to let that be transformed and absorbed and accepted by ourselves, within ourselves, and then we can change and radiate that out to others. This is a great book. Highly recommend it. Laurie, you need to read this.
I just downloaded it when you shared it with me. I downloaded it on my Kindle, so it's up on my list. I have it. I just have to get to it.
We're like, we do this all the time. We send each other things to read, things to watch, things to talk about.
Yes. And as Laurie knows, I'm reading like 5 books at one time.
Yeah.
It's on the list. It's on the list. I downloaded it.
Yeah. But it's all really the same message. It's just said in different ways. It's said in all loving ways, all supportive ways for us to just accept us, who we are, and that we're loved, and that we are one with love.
Nice message. So we hope one of these books has resonated with you, or you're interested in exploring. We'd love to hear what your favorite books are, what's helped you along your journey. And as Laurie, were there any final thoughts or words that you had?
Oh, I just enjoyed our conversation today, and your meditation was beautiful.
Thank you.
Yeah, and it's always good to talk with you. Look forward to our next episode. We also look forward to really connecting with those who are listening, and we appreciate you. We appreciate you listening and watching, and we'd love to just connect and build a community, as we were talking about. So
So like and subscribe.
yeah,
So you don't miss the next video.
share, right? Thank you so much. We'll see you on the next episode.
Have a great, wonderful day, everyone.